You ever had to slam on your brakes and felt that weird, kind of juddering pulse under your foot? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredible safety feature that causes that feeling, the anti-lock braking system. It's the silent guardian in your car that you don't even know is there until you need it most. Okay, so let's put ourselves in a situation that honestly, every driver has nightmares about. You're driving along and suddenly, bam, an obstacle appears right in front of you. You hit the brakes hard. What happens next? Do you stop safely or do you go into a terrifying skid? Because how your car answers that question, well, it changes everything. Now, before we can really appreciate just how brilliant the solution is, we have to get up close and personal with the problem. Let's talk about the dangerous physics of what actually happens when your wheels lock up. The very instant a wheel stops rotating, but the car is still moving forward, you've lost the game. Why? Because you can't steer anymore. A wheel can only change the car's direction if it's rolling. The moment it locks, it's basically just a block of rubber dragging on the pavement. You're no longer a driver, you're just a passenger on a sled made of a ton of metal. And that is a scary, scary place to be. So why? Why does a locked wheel completely give up on you? The answer is all about the physics of grip. It comes down to two totally different kinds of friction. You can almost think of it as the secret language being spoken between your tires and the road. So a rolling wheel, right, even when you're braking really hard, is using something called static friction. Think of this as the good friction. It's super high grip, it's what lets you steer and stay in control. But the second that wheel locks up and starts to slide, it switches over to kinetic friction, and that is the bad friction. It's low grip, there's no control, and that's the moment the skid begins. And this, right here, is the exact problem that ABS was engineered to solve. Its entire job is to stop your wheels from ever getting into that dangerous, locked-up, sliding state. It's designed to keep you firmly on the good side of that friction equation. So here's the crucial thing to understand. ABS isn't really about braking harder. It's about braking smarter. The system works nonstop to keep the wheels rotating just enough to maintain that maximum high-grip static friction, even when your foot has slammed the pedal to the floor in a moment of pure panic. So how in the world does it actually do this? Well, the system works like a tiny, lightning-fast team inside your car, running a continuous three-step loop that happens way, way faster than you can even blink. And this breaks it down perfectly. You've got sensors on each wheel. Those are the eyes, constantly watching how fast they're spinning. Then there's the car's computer, the ECU. That's the brain. It's looking for any hint that a wheel is about to lock up. The moment it sees that, the hydraulic unit, that's the muscle, instantly adjusts the brake pressure, backing it off just a tiny bit to prevent the lock from ever happening. And when I say fast, I mean it. This whole sense, think, act cycle can happen up to 20 times every single second. That is just an incredible feat of engineering, all working behind the scenes to keep you safe. And this is so, so important. That weird pulsing or vibrating you feel under your foot, that is not a sign that your brakes are broken. It's the exact opposite. It's the physical proof you can feel of that sense, think, act cycle firing off over and over again. Your job in that moment, just keep firm, steady pressure on that pedal and let the system do its amazing work. Okay, so this brings us to the single greatest benefit of having ABS. It gives you, the driver, a capability that is otherwise physically impossible in an emergency. It is, and I'm not exaggerating, a genuine automotive superpower. Think about it. In a car without ABS, if your wheels lock up, you're faced with a terrible choice. You can either take your foot off the brake to try and get some steering back, or you can keep braking and just slide straight into whatever's in front of you. You cannot do both. You're just along for the ride. But with ABS, this is the game changer. It allows you to stomp on that brake pedal with everything you've got, while at the same time still being able to steer the car around the very hazard you're trying to avoid. It completely rewrites the rules of an emergency stop. So what does all this tech mean for you out on the actual road? It means you have control when you need it most. It turns a moment of sheer panic into a controlled, survivable maneuver. You know, whether it's a deer jumping out in front of you, forcing you to brake and swerve, or hitting a patch of standing water on the highway, ABS is your silent partner. It keeps the vehicle stable, it keeps it pointed where you're steering, even under the absolute worst conditions.
But it is really important to know the limits of the system. I mean, ABS is an incredible piece of technology, but it isn't magic. So let's quickly bust a couple of common myths.
Okay, the big takeaway here is that the number one job of ABS is to let you steer. That's its purpose. Now, while it usually shortens stopping distances on dry or wet pavement, on really loose stuff like gravel or deep snow, a locked up wheel can actually pile up material in front of it and stop you a bit faster. And of course, ABS can't create grip where there isn't any, like on a sheet of pure ice. It can only make the absolute most of whatever grip is available. So, the next time you have to brake hard and you feel that pedal pushing back, don't panic. Take a breath and be confident, knowing that this incredible technology is working overtime to keep you in control. It really is a perfect example of how smart engineering makes all of us safer out there. So, what other piece of car tech do you want us to break down next?